Hello, budget friends. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa, and in this video, I'm going to give you guys the debt update for the end of December 2024. I'm also going to include in this video a deep dive into my debt journey over the last few years. So if you're interested in seeing how I have been with money, please stay tuned. All right, you guys, so we're not going to waste any time because this may be a little bit of a longer video for me. So we're just going to jump right into the numbers, and I'm going to give you what my balances are on all of my debts for the end of 2024, the last month of the year. So the first debt up was my Chase credit card, and we started out the month of December with a balance of $1,632.81. I was able to make a minimum payment of $39.65. Now, in the next two columns, I'm actually giving you what was spent on the card and what kind of payments I made to the card over the minimum payment. So the reason why I'm putting this in, I've put out a few of my debt update video, and a lot of my viewers or subscribers were saying, well, it's not accurate based on there were expenses on the card, but most of these, I do have expenses on each of the credit cards, but most of those were paid back. So as you can see here in the extra payment column, there is $582.68 that was made, but the purchases on this card was $582.68. So me in the past, I wouldn't actually show you these two numbers because as you can see, they cancel each other out, but I'm just putting it in here for those who want to see it. I don't know if this is something that I will do moving forward. There was no interest on this card because all of the purchases that was made on the card, it covered the statement balance. So I made the purchases, I made payments, and because of that, I didn't have to pay any interest. So we ended with a balance of $1,593.16. Now, the next debt that's up is my student loan. My student loan started out at $1,227.98. The minimum payment is $40. That was made. I did lose some interest to this, which is $4.04. And we are ending the month of December at $1,192.02. Now, the next debt that's up is my Apple card. Apple started out at $1,947.11. The minimum payment of $25 was made. Now, this is where it differs, and this is actually where I would show you what happens, but if I was doing it the way that I've done it before, these numbers would look a little different. So first, I'll discuss the purchases. So a total of $748.70 was made in purchases on this card. I did lose interest of $30.39, but I did make extra payment or additional payment to my minimum payment of $827.61. Now, I am ending the month of December at $1,873.59. So you can see there's a little bit more that was paid out to this card because the purchases and the interest total $779.07. So you could see that $800 was paid, so I did make a little bit of extra payment to this card. I don't know how it fared because what I should have done was put that on the smallest balance, but somehow the way the payments fell during the month of December, I ended up putting a little bit extra to the Apple card. Next up is Mattress Firm. Now, Mattress Firm, I started at $2,124.00. The minimum payment of $67 was made. As you know, if you've been here before, I don't make any extra payment on this one. There is no interest because it's 0% for the life of this loan, or it's on a credit card actually. So my balance is ending at $2,057 even. Next is my Capital One number 2 card. This one was the only one that increased in the month of December. So I started out at $2,896.09. Minimum payment of $87 was made. So I'm going to jump over to the purchases. I did buy heating oil in December on this card for $361.72. I did lose $60.63 in interest, and there was some additional payments that was made, and this is why I didn't get to cover the full heating oil on this card, I only paid back $284.62. So now I ended the month of December at $2,946.82. That's a slight increase of what I started the month out with. Next that's up is Lending Club. Now, Lending Club started out $17,158.87. The minimum payment of $1,059.22 was made. I did lose $250.10 to interest, and I ended the month of December at $16,349.75. Now, next one that's up is my 401k loan. I started with a balance of $19,481.29. The minimum payment of $408 was made. I did lose interest, or interest was pulled out at $87.14. And I ended December at $19,160.43. Next loan that's up is Upgrade. Upgrade started at $24,326.43. I made my minimum payment of $629.14. There was no extra payment or purchases, and I did lose $164.04 to interest. Now, the balance at the end of December, $23,861.33. Now, the next debt that's up is the auto loan, and this is the last debt. We started out the month of December at $33,129.48. The minimum payment of $939.23 was made. No extra payment. There was no purchases. I did lose $151.28 to interest, and we ended December at $32,341.53. Now we're just going to wrap this up, and I'm going to tell you guys what my balances were at the end of the month. Now, I started out December with a total balance. This is my total debt balance of $103,924.06. All the minimum payments total to $3,294.24. Extra payments that were made, $1,694.91. Purchases that was made, $1,693.10. So these two numbers, you can see there's just some cents difference between what was used on my credit cards and what was paid back. The interest, though, $747.62 was lost, and we ended the month of December. And even though I wanted to be under six-figure of debt, we ended at $101,375.63. Now, like I said, I wanted to end 2024 under six-figure debt, but coming down from where we started in 2024 to coming down to 101,000, I'll take it. This is major win for me. So now what I'm going to discuss with you guys next is where I started this debt payoff process and where we are right now. So I started tracking my debt and looking to pay it off. Our debt journey started the 10th of October in 2023. At that time, the balance was $123,217.48. Last month's total, like I mentioned, $103,924.06. This month's ending balance, $101,375.63. That means the total that was paid to principal or to reduce the debt was $2,548.43. That's 2.45% of the debt paid in the month of December. So the overall debt reduction for that period of time, which is going from October 10th of 2023 to December 31st of 2024, was $21,841.85. That an overall percentage reduction of 17.73%. So I am pretty pleased with these numbers, because what I'm going to show you guys next is going to show you my pattern with debt over the years. And to be able to reduce my debt by 17% in about 14 months, this is major progress for me. So the next section that I'm going to show you is the interest that we've lost to debt in 2024. So in the month of January, we lost $927.76 to interest. In February, $1,400.32. In March, $1,346.30. In April, we lost $1,232.46. In May, $1,833.66. So it went up drastically. In June, $1,224.02. In July, $1,279.81. In the month of August, we came down to $1,063.81. In the month of September, $1,448.07. In the month of October, we had a huge reduction. We came down to $980.69. Now, at the end of September to early October, I did take out that upgrade personal loan to consolidate my credit card debt. So because I didn't have that much in interest from credit cards, which was what was eating up most of our money, we reduced the interest by this much. But you're going to see that in the month of September, we went back up to $1,266.95. And this was because now I started paying on upgrade. I did lose some interest to upgrade, but compared to what we lost in September, it was a little bit less. Now, in December, you guys, we lost $747.62. Now, look at this big difference from before we got the upgrade loan. It's about half of what we paid in September. So I did mention to you guys a few times before that come 2025, we're not going to be paying this much out in interest because total interest that we've lost in 2024, hold on to your hats, you guys, hold on to your hats, hold on to your jackets, take a seat, $14,751.47. Oh my goodness. So out of all the money that we've sent out to debts in 2024, you guys, 14,000 of that money went to the banks. This could have been money that went into our savings or our investments. So this is the reason why I need to eliminate debt, because I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this, you guys. Now, what I am going to discuss with you guys, I'm going to go over what my quarters look like and what my balances were at the end of each quarter in 2024. Let's take a look. So what I did, you guys, I summarized each of the quarters, and all of these numbers are as of the end of the quarter. So the end of quarter one, my total credit card balance was $25,557.06. The end of quarter two, it increased. It went to $28,589.14. At the end of quarter three, we dipped down a little bit. We went down to $27,449.68. And at the end of quarter four, total credit card balance was $8,470.57. So I did decrease because I was able to refinance all the credit card debt, and this was the reason why the numbers decreased. Now to go down into the personal loan, you're going to see a change here based on what happened throughout 2024. So we ended quarter one with a total balance on personal loans, $37,302.21. At the end of quarter two, we went down. This was almost $11,000 reduction, $26,278.41. We went down again at the end of quarter three to $22,560. And then, you guys, we did a big jump from $22,000 all the way up to $40,211.08 at the end of quarter four. As you can see, the credit card balance from the end of quarter three to quarter four, that balance was rolled into personal loans. Now, next is the auto loan. This one, we have not done anything major with it. We ended quarter one a balance of $39,110.77. End of quarter two, we went down to $36,824.14. The end of quarter three, we went down to $34,000. $665.78. And at the end of quarter four, we are down to $32,341.53. Now, the next one that's up is the 401k loan. The end of quarter one, we were at $13,756.07. Now, the end of quarter two, and what I did do in quarter two, I took out a personal loan to reduce credit cards. So I went up to $21,266.45. At the end of quarter three, we went down to $20,435.31. And the end of quarter four, we are down to $19,160.43. Now, what I can tell you guys with this is something that I do periodically, and you will see, well, I can't even say periodically, I have to say every year. I try not to do it every year, but because of how I was with money, it ended up being a crutch for me. And you will see that when I go into the numbers for what happened during the years. So let's move to the next one, which is student loan. At the end of quarter one, we had a balance of $1,555.56. The end of quarter two, $1,447.78. The end of quarter three, $1,299.90. And the end of quarter four, $1,192.02. Now, this one, I have just been paying the balance down by just paying the minimum payment. I haven't done anything drastic with this loan. Now, let's look at the total numbers for the quarters. And what I did do, I did a calculation based on how much was reduced in each quarter. So we ended quarter one at a balance of $117,281.67 in debt. That's a reduction of $8,611.13 from the end of 2023. Now keep that number in mind. Now at the end of quarter two, our total balance on all our debts, $114,405.92. That's a reduction of $2,875.75. Now, as you can see, this is the smallest amount of debt that has been paid if you're looking ahead at the numbers. And this is because in quarter two, I started off the year 2024 a little bit, I would say a little bit trigger happy. I was so excited to be sharing this with you guys here on YouTube for you to see. And I think I wanted to advance a little bit faster. So in quarter one, I did get pay out my bonus money and I threw all of it to debt. And what ended up happening that when I rolled around to quarter two and needing some money, it was nowhere to be found. So as you can see, the credit card balances went up from 25,000 to 28. So because I didn't have that money in savings or set aside, I ended up racking up more credit card debt than I really needed to. So we did go from 25,000 to 28,000 from quarter one to quarter two. Now, at the end of quarter three, our total debt amount was $106,410.67. And as you can see, that's a big reduction of $7,995.25. Now, this is nothing major happened than just me paying down debt. So you can see at the time I did not increase my personal loans just yet, and I did not decrease the credit card debt just yet. I was just paying down the debts as I go. Now, at the end of quarter four, $101,375.63. That's a reduction of $5,035.04. So this also is a big reduction in debt over the last 3 months of 2024. Now, I can say that I am pretty proud of the progress, except for quarter two. So I won't beat myself up too much because we did reduce the debt. But as you can see, $2,000 compared to 5, 7, and 8, we kind of took a step back in quarter two, and that's something that I paid attention to for the last 2 quarters of the year. Now, I did tell you guys that I wanted to show you my numbers over the years. So let's take a look at that. Now, I thought about going back to 2021, but when I looked at the numbers for December 2021, I didn't have them filled in. I don't know what was going on at the end of that year, but I don't have December's numbers, so I can't tell you guys exactly. So I'm just going to do numbers from 2022, 2023, and 2024. Now, my total credit card balance in 2022 at the end of the year 2022 was $36,227.78. That's credit card balance. At the end of 2023, I was at $27,502.18. And like mentioned a few times now, at the end of 2024, credit cards ended at $8,470.57. Now, let me tell you what has happened over the years. For me, I will date back till maybe 2017, 2018 was when I finally got my credit to a certain place where I could get higher limits, more than $250 and $500. So I was just swiping. Everything I needed, I swiped. It didn't matter. If I went to the grocery store, I swiped. If I bought clothes for the kids, I swiped. If I did anything, I was swiping. So because I had that credit and I was so excited about it, I was just swiping my cards left and right, not paying attention to what the balances were, because even though I was tracking them, it didn't matter. I knew that I had the credit and I was going to swipe. I didn't worry about how they were going to pay back. Now, in 2023, I was like, hold on, this is getting out of control. So I need to reel it in. And for 2024, as you know, my debt journey started at the end of 2023. And that's when I started recording for you guys and, taking accountability and, being responsible for my actions. That's when we decided to change things. Now we're going to move down to the personal loans. Now, this is for me, I need to get this together, and 2025 is the year that I do decide on doing that. At the end of 2022, my total personal loan balance was $20,506.76. And then I did a jump. So I ended up taking out more personal loans in 2023, and we went up to $40,445.36. That's because I consolidated my credit card debt. And at the end of 2024, my total personal loan balance are $40,211.08. Now, what I did notice is that over the years, in 2024, I took out a personal loan. In 2023, I took out a personal loan. I think in 2022, I took out a personal loan. What I keep doing, and I keep making that mistake, hopefully that was the end of it in 2024, is that I take out a new personal loan, I consolidate all the credit card debt, and then I turn around having to pay the personal loan, but still having to pay credit card debt because I racked them back up. And one of the things that I've learned in 2024, now that I've finally settled on debt payoff, is that I didn't have a good relationship with money. So I was telling you guys at some of my intros was that I am looking to change my money mindset so I can change my relationship with money. And this is why. I had this thing in the back of my mind that I could always pay the credit cards back. Okay. And then, I feel like I'm drowning in credit card debt. So I then take out a personal loan, pay off all the credit cards. And then I look at the balances and I'm like, oh, I have available credit. I can swipe my card. So one of the big things that I'm going to do, and this is what I've learned in 2024, is that I need to balance debt payoff and saving. So I can't just decide to throw all the money to debt payoff and not set some aside for the things that I know are going to happen. So I did mention to you guys in earlier 2024 that heating oil is coming up. And I've had subscribers say to me, like, listen, set money aside for heating oil because you know it's going to happen. And what did Melissa do? In 2024, I didn't set any money aside for heating oil. So now I'm trying to scramble to find money every time I have to order and pay for heating oil. So that is something that's very, very important for me now. And it's at the forefront of my mind, is that I need to prioritize savings along with debts. So if you've seen my goals video, I did tell you guys I'm prioritizing savings in 2025, even though I am on a debt-free journey. So that's one of the things that I consider a lesson for me in 2024 that I'm taking along with me in 2025. Now, next is the auto loan, and there is nothing special happening with this one. At the end of 2022, we had a total of $50,390.74. The end of 2023, balance was $41,337.92. And at the end of 2024, our auto loan balance is $32,341.53. So we're just paying this down, and hubby and I have talked about it over and over again. We actually have thought about turning in the car and getting a cheaper car, but we were like, there is no real equity in the car. So if we turn the car in, we would be losing money. So might as well just continue to pay it down, because we have paid the majority of the interest towards this loan already. So we might as well just continue to pay it down until it's paid off. Now, next up is my 401k loan. We ended 2022 at $11,231.85. End of 2023, we were at $14,944.82. And the end of 2024, because I did take on an additional loan, $19,160.43. Now, this is what I did also over the years, is that I ended up taking out loans against my 401k because I'm expecting, or I'm looking to pay off credit card debt. And then the next year, so for me, I'm making a vow to myself not to take any more loans against my 401k, because like I said, I'm prioritizing saving along with debt payoff. So hopefully, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed, for years to come, what I'm going to just do is pay off these loans, pay off the debts, and then I will have available money and have more flexibility with money, so I don't have to put myself in these situations going forward. So next up is student loan. At the end of 2022, I had no student loan, and I did make a note right here so I can remember to tell you guys that all my student loans were forgiven, because I do work in public service. So all my loans were forgiven in May of 2022. So at that time, I had $32,500 in loans, and those were forgiven. Thank the Lord. So I ended 2022 with zero student loan. But somehow I did go away to college, and this was my first year of college, and apparently a Perkins loan. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, because I don't pay attention to student loans like that anymore. But there was a Perkins loan that I did take out my first year of college, and that somehow went into default. And somehow, you guys, this loan resurfaced in 2023, and they said my balance was $1,662.52. And when I reached out to them and said, listen, all my loans were forgiven, why wasn't this included? They told me they didn't know, and there was nothing I could do about it, so I needed to pay it. I didn't argue, because having $32,000 forgiven in student loan, you know what? I can pay $1,600. So I started making minimum payments on that in 2023. And as you can see, the end of 2024, I ended at $1,192.02. So I'm not complaining about this one. I did go to school. I got my degree. Yes, my loans were forgiven because I'm in public service, but I have this, almost $1,700 loan to repay, and I'll just do that. Now I'm going to go down into the totals for the years. So overall debt total for 2022, $118,357.13. And 2023 increased, you guys. 2023 went up to $125,892.80. Now you can see that this number is a big difference from the number that I started my debt journey. So I'm going to put that number back on the screen for you guys to see. But between October and December of 2023, I increased the debt. So at the end of 2023, we went on a cruise. From 2023, we rang in the new year on a boat. It was a very lovely cruise. We went with my in-laws and two other couples, and we had a good time. But in order to go on this cruise. We had to buy tickets. We had to get new clothes. It was in the winter, so we need like bathing suits and all of that stuff. And we ended up putting that on credit cards. So we went to this cruise. We had a good time. But when we came back, our debts were that high, or I would say my personal debt was that high. But anyway, like we're ending 2024, you guys, at $101,375.63. So the last bit that I have down here, and I did mention to you guys that I don't have accurate numbers at the end of 2021, which is just December. I don't have the accurate numbers, but between 2022 to the end of 2023, we increased our debt amount by a total of $7,535.67. Yes, that's the amount that was increased over a year. But as you can see, the end of 2024, the total debt or total number that we decreased debt, $24,517.17. And that's a big number. So one of my goals for 2025 is to pay off $50,000 of debt. And this is why. I was able to do this in 2024 by not even focusing as much as I could have. So I surely can do this in 2025. So you guys, that's it for this video. That's all I have to share with you guys. I did have, or I've been on this roller coaster ride with debts over the years. And, I have changed my money mindset from the end of 2023 into 2024. And I'm going to continue to do so, or just continue to, pay attention and be more mindful of what is happening with money, because I can do this. We can do this. We don't need to make the silly decisions or the silly mistakes that we've made with money throughout the years. And the lessons that I've learned in 2024, I'm taking them with me over into 2025 to be just better overall with money, just so we're not, carrying this with us year after year. Because as you could see, 2022, I was over six figure in debt, and here we are at the end of 2024, still having over six figure of debt. So what are we doing here? We need to get it together, and I've done that in 2024. And I appreciate you guys for being here and supporting. You guys are my accountability partners. Just even trying to encourage somebody out there that you can do it. You can get out of that. You can be more responsible with money. That's something I'm learning to do at the ripe age of 43. So you guys can do it. And I appreciate you, each and every one of you, for taking the time out to watch my videos, to take the time to like, to comment, to even share. I thank everyone for taking the time out to subscribe. I have been doing well with subscribers over the last few weeks, and I hope that you guys, if you're watching and you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe, because as you can see, this journey is very interesting. We are doing some things with money and going into, or being now into 2025, because I am recording this in early January. Being in 2025, we're going to do better with money. So I did mention I'm prioritizing savings along with debt payoff, and we're going to have some big wins in this new year. So thank you so much, you guys, for taking the time out to watch. I appreciate each and every one of you. But until next time, you guys, I will talk to you later. Bye now.